Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're coming to you live from Port Harcourt. It's the 50th anniversary of the state. We've got here in the studio with us His Excellency Wike, Governor of Rivers State. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
It's 50th anniversary indeed, but we also have heard some comments that you've made about this occasion. But would you say the state has met the objectives of its founding fathers, and why the celebration?
Well, thank you. First of all, what is important that the founding fathers who fought for the creation of the state on 27th of May 1967, at that time, the River States, the people of this area were being oppressed, and therefore there was a need for them to be independent of their own by having a state of their own. And to God be the glory, the then head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, created River State. And so Rivers people were very happy, the founding fathers were happy. Now when a state, like when a company is established, you don't expect that within short time the company would have achieved all its goals. But as the company is still in existence, the company will have to have what they intend to achieve from year to year. So I would say that yes, the founding fathers are happy that yes, the state they fought for in 1967 is still together. Apart from the fact that the old Bayelsa was carved out, I think we've achieved a lot. And so I would say that the founding fathers, those of them who are still living, and I believe that even those who are dead, wherever they are happy that they did not make a mistake in fighting for the creation of River State.
So what would you say is the thinking behind associating some of those projects on this particular occasion?
Now, you see, first of all, for you to attain 50 years is not a small job. I mean, if like a human being said, look, today I'm marking my 50th birthday. Even those who are 1 year will always celebrate their birthday. Well, first of all, I want to thank God that God has kept us alive. God has kept the state together. Part of the fact that we have so many ethnic groups speaking different languages. You've not heard of any ethnic wars between the various communities or the various ethnic groups. And so for us to mark that, we say, God, that as a Christian state, we must have to do something that we will all remember as a Christian state that we're all together. I would say to do that, we have to build a community center where to showcase that we're a Christian state, that the need for all of us to come together, to continue to worship the same God that has kept this state together. So that is a mark for us that, look, as a Christian state, it's not a question of 99.something%, it's total 100%. And so we felt that to back that, we have to give God the glory that He has been able to keep the state together. And so, God, this is what we have to do to thank You for what You've done for us. Again, so many people that think that mark up to the state. So if you want to talk about Jubilee, if you want to talk about, oh, we want to celebrate our Jubilee, we want to celebrate our 50th year, because the year of 50 is Jubilee year. What are the things you really want to showcase, you know? Rivers State is one of the states that you can talk about in terms of tourism. But again, because of the problems we have had before now, so many people felt that, look, there's no need to stay in Rivers State. We have not seen the tourist attraction that will make us to stay. There's nothing here to show for it. But we are trying to let people know that is not correct, that as far as this administration is concerned, we want to show that we have a lot of things, so you have to come back. And what we have done is the first in its kind in this country, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, when we talk about first in its kind in this country, how many of the states? The only state I can say today, competing favorably with River State, is Lagos State. And we don't have that in Lagos State, so I don't even want to talk about Abuja, you know. So that's why it was okay. One of the things we used to mark this Jubilee or this 50th year is to build a pleasure park that will bring back tourists, will bring back investors to say, look, people should have a where they can go and create, where they can go and unwind, and children will have where to go and play, you know. So today, which is coincidentally today, around 12 in the afternoon, we are going to commission the pleasure park. And the state has grown in terms of infrastructure. The state has grown in terms of development. But majorly, as to mark the Jubilee, and I'm not talking about 2 years in office now, we're talking about the Jubilee celebration. These are two key factors we have said that we must have used to thank God.
So what impact would the pleasure park have on, say, the youths, for instance? Because we know that there's lots of restiveness amongst the youth in your state. What will that impact be?
First of all, when you talk about restiveness, there are a lot of factors that contribute to restiveness. Restiveness has nothing to do with tourism or what, but if a place where people don't have employment, if a place where people feel aggrieved that, look, they are not getting what they're supposed to get, that could lead to restiveness. But luckily again for us, by creating that pleasure park, you're also creating employment. And if yesterday we went around, I see a lot of people who are in the pleasure park, they are happy, they are getting job, they are getting employment. That will go a long way to reduce the level of restiveness of our youth. And once employment is created, or once you have something doing, obviously you will not engage in one criminal activity or the other. The major thing that leads to youth restiveness has to do with unemployment. I mean, somebody wakes up in the morning, has a job. When will he start to plan on how to cause crisis or the other? But because there's no job, so he has to think of other things. And whether you like it or not, their groups will come up and say, oh, look, gentlemen, what are we doing here? We don't have jobs, we don't have no sale, we don't have any hope. So what do? That could lead into a crisis. So
look back 2 years to this time. Can you confidently say that you've been able to bring some level of sanity into River State with regards to this restiveness issue? Does it speak to it?
No, I want to say clearly that before now, River State, not just 2 years ago, even you remember when this militant issue started, it didn't start 2 years ago. It started even from 2000 and, if I remember vividly, from 2003, 2004, when the militants were agitating that, look, they are not getting what they're supposed to get for the federal government. Yes, the issue of amnesty came. The federal government under Yaradua had to give amnesty to the youth. But again, that tried to cushion. That's how the issue of the amnesty program came about, on how some youth to be engaged by training them overseas. But having trained them overseas, they come back too, they need job to do. So it's one thing to train people outside, and it's one thing for them to be fully engaged. But then I can say authoritatively that in my 2 years of office, we have been able to reduce there are two different things: political turbulence and real youth restiveness as against unemployment. There are sometimes you see that you have some political crisis, and then you may call that the restiveness of the state. No, it's not true. Now watch, since there have not been any election in the state, whether you have been having that kind of unrest or that kind of killings and rest, you just ask yourself. There's no part of the state today you will say you don't have one element of criminality or the other. No part. In fact, I was watching on tele yesterday when I heard about 6 people were kidnapped in a Lagos college. Even in advanced country, you heard of what happened in Manchester. So there's one element of criminality or the other in every country, in every community, in every state. So for us here, what we have done, by even giving the youth amnesty program to surrender their weapons, that have gone far in reducing the level of crisis we used to have. And that's why investors have started coming back to say, oh, River State is peaceful. You can go out in the night, on the streets of the road, you can't see any one form of crime or the other. But I'm not saying totally that we have been able to eliminate completely, which is not possible. As society grows, also crime rate will also increase. So it will be difficult for anybody to say, look, for the last 2 years, there's no more crime in my state. In fact, saying so means that then the state is not progressive. But I can say totally that, look, we have been able, where you can even feel it, that today River State is safe. I'm not saying that we don't have...
That's an interesting comment, Your Excellency. When you say that, if I say so, it means that my state is not progressing. You're saying that one of the attributes of progress is crime?
No, that's not the point I'm making. What I'm saying is that in every country, as the state progresses, so also you see sometimes, okay, take for example, assuming an oil company moves into a community, that's progress. Right? Mm-hmm. But you can also find out that the movement of that oil company to that community could lead to crisis. Why? So many people will begin to agitate for one thing or the other. You begin to have conflicts among the leadership in the communities. So if that oil company did not come, that crisis was not there. So, but I'm not saying that because there's development and therefore there will be crisis. But I'm saying that when you bring development, there's a tendency also, based on that, that could lead to crisis. That's the point I'm trying to make. I mean, take for example, so many of us who have not experienced, if in a community where oil companies give out certain benefits to communities, that will lead to them to build or have some investment. Take for example today in one of the local governments in my state, LMA local government, Indorama is there. Now, the community has an investment, has a share in that petrochemical. Now, every year, the kind of money that comes out for the community has only led to crisis in that community. That's the point I'm trying to make.
That's his development bringing some sort of division, as it were.
Of course.